in a world of stark contrasts, where the opulent capital feasted while the districts starved. A 16-year-old girl named Katniss Everdeen lived a life of quiet desperation. Her home, District 12, was a place of coal, dust, and hunger, ruled by the iron fist of a government that demanded not just obedience, but entertainment. Every year, this entertainment came in the form of the Hunger Games, a brutal, televised spectacle where one boy and one girl from each of the 12 districts were forced to fight to the death. It was a grim reminder of the capital's absolute power, a way to crush the spirit of the districts and keep them in line. The day of the reaping was a day of dread, and on this day the unthinkable happened. The slip of paper drawn held the name of Katniss's little sister. Prim, a small, gentle soul, completely unequipped for the horrors that awaited. As Prim walked towards the stage, a wave of shock and terror washed over the crowd, but before she could take her place, a single, powerful voice cut through the silence. "I volunteered. I volunteer as tribute." It was Katniss. In that moment, her love for her sister eclipsed all fear for her own life. She stepped forward, her face a mask of determination, trading her own future for Prim's. The crowd, usually silent, pressed 3 fingers to their lips in a silent gesture of respect and farewell. It was the first spark in a long, dark night. Katniss was whisked away to the capital alongside the boy tribute from her district, Peter Malark. Peter was a baker's son, a boy who had once shown her a profound act of kindness when she was starving. Now, they were allies by circumstance, thrust into a world of grotesque luxury and deadly preparation. They were groomed, trained, and paraded before the capital citizens like prized animals. Their impending deaths a source of thrilling amusement. Katniss, however, was a survivor. Years of illegally hunting in the woods outside District 12 had honed her skills. She was an expert with a bow and arrow. She knew how to read the forest, how to be silent, and how to stay alive. But as she was trained to kill, a conflict raged within her. She didn't want to be a piece in their game. She just wanted to go home. When the gong sounded and the 74th Hunger Games began, Katniss fled into the wilderness of the arena. She used her hunting prowess not to stalk human prey, but to find sustenance and evade the pack of career tributes who had trained their whole lives for this bloody glory. She climbed high into the trees, becoming a ghost in the woods, watching and waiting. But survival in the arena was more than just a physical battle. It was a psychological war. The capital controlled everything: the weather, the terrain, even unleashing fireballs and monstrous creatures to force the tributes together. Each moment was a test, and through it all, Katniss began to see the games for what they truly were: a monstrous instrument of oppression. The suffering of the districts wasn't just a consequence of their poverty, it was a sport for the rich. In the heart of this brutal arena, Katniss found an unlikely ally, a small, swift girl from District 11 named Rue. Rue, with her dark eyes and gentle nature, reminded Katniss so much of Prim. A bond formed between them, built on shared vulnerability and a quiet understanding. They became a team, sharing food and warning each other of danger. For a brief time, in the midst of unspeakable cruelty, there was a flicker of humanity, of friendship. But the games are designed to break such bonds. Rue was tragically caught in a trap and fatally wounded. As Katniss held the dying girl, her grief turned to defiance. Instead of letting Rue's death be just another moment of capital entertainment, Katniss decorated her body with beautiful white flowers. She then turned to the nearest hidden camera and gave the three-fingered salute of District 12. It was an act of pure rebellion, message to the entire nation of Panem that Rue was not just a player in a game, she was a person, and she was loved. The broadcast was cut, but it was too late. The image had been seen. As the number of tributes dwindled, the game makers announced a shocking rule change. 2 tributes from the same district could win as a pair. A new hope surged through Katniss. She wasn't alone. She called out for Peter, finding him badly injured and camouflaged by a riverbank. She nursed him back to health, their alliance deepening as they protected each other from the remaining threats. Their shared struggle, broadcast for all to see, created a narrative of star-crossed lovers that captivated the Capitol audience. Finally, only Katniss and Peter remained. They had done it. They had survived. But the Capitol had one last cruel trick to play. An announcer's voice boomed through the arena, revoking the previous rule change. There could only be one winner. They were expected to turn on each other to provide the bloody finale the Capitol craved, but Katniss refused. Looking at Peter, she saw not an enemy, but the boy who gave her bread, the ally who had faced death with her. She would not kill him. She would not give the Capitol the ending it wanted. Pulling out a handful of deadly nightlock berries, she gave half to Peter together. She asked. He nodded. If they couldn't both win, then the Capitol would have no winner at all. As they raised the poisonous berries to their lips, a frantic voice screamed from the sky, "Stop, stop, ladies and gentlemen, the victors of the 74th Hunger Games." In their desperation to have a winner, the Capitol had been output. Katniss and Peter had won, not by being the strongest killers, but by refusing to play. They returned to District 12 as heroes, but Katniss was changed forever. She understood that true courage wasn't about winning a fight. It's about defiance in the face of injustice. It's about protecting those you love and holding onto your humanity when the world tries to strip it away. She had become more than a victor. She had become a symbol of hope. The girl on fire, who proved that even one small act of defiance could ignite a revolution and inspire people to believe in a better world. The story of Katniss Everdeen is a powerful reminder that real strength isn't found in power or control, but in compassion, integrity, and the courage to stand for what is right, no matter the cost. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the power of the human spirit. Until next time, stay brave and stay kind.